What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's fight between Devin Haney and Jose Ramirez. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you remember to hit subscribe? My YouTube analytics are telling me that more than 75% of you guys who enjoy my content haven't done that yet, so please do that for me. Also, like this video. That'll help push my content up the boxing YouTube algorithm, which that's what we want to do. We are growing, and that's a testament to you guys. One last thing, on the bottom of your screen, hit the bell notification button. By doing that, you'll be notified every time I put something out that's new. Let's get into this. All right, guys, another intriguing fight going into the weekend. This fight takes place in New York City on the same fight card as Ryan Garcia and Romero. When we say the name Devin Haney, we know all that comes within that, especially with what happened in his last fight. This is the return of the dream. At only 26 years old, it seems like he's done so much already in the sport of boxing, but we know this is a sport of what have you done for me lately, and his last fight was not his best. Albeit he went up against Ryan Garcia, who tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. He lost a very tough majority decision. He got dropped multiple times. The haters will say that Haney's jaw is suspicious, that his chin is chinny. But the fans will say the kid is tough as nails. He got up every time. He didn't get knocked out. He went against a drug cheat and overcame all that and still was standing there to hear the judges read the outcomes. So moving forward, we know what happened in the courts. We know that that fight was erased. He has the same exact record going into the Ramirez fight, 31-0 with 15 knockouts, as he did going into the Garcia fight. Jose Ramirez is a guy at 32 years old, a former world champion. This is a fight between two former world champions, with both guys trying to prove themselves. Guys, when this fight was signed, it was marketed as a fight at welterweight. This was a fight between two guys who were fighting for the first time at 147. This week has been contractually signed to be done at a catchweight at 144. I just wanted to add that little tidbit in, but both guys have been on paper saying they want to start fighting their career at 47. Jose Ramirez, we last saw him against Barboza Jr. He claims that his flat performance was due to the weight draining. He is a 5'10" fighter, so he's not a small guy for the division, and he claims that those weight cuts were draining him. So in this video, we're going to take a closer look at both fighters' careers. We're going to talk about what they've been up to, go in a little bit about what each fighter needs to do to get the victory in this fight. Stay tuned to the end of the video because I'll be going over those Las Vegas odds and I'll be giving you guys my prediction. When we think about Devin Haney's game plan going into every fight, we have to think about his boxing acumen, his ring IQ, his generalship, but it all starts with that jab. He controls everything, the distance, the range. He disrupts his opponent's offense with his jab, and this is exactly what he's going to want to do against Jose Ramirez. When I think about X factors going into this fight with Devin Haney, something that hasn't really been talked about in the mainstream media that I'm going to bring up, I'm going to tip my hat. Kudos to Coach Nate Jones. Devin Haney brought him in. If you guys aren't familiar, this is a 1996 Olympian. This is a Golden Gloves champion, former pro. He won the bronze medal in Atlanta at heavyweight. You bring in Coach Nate Jones to up your skill set, specifically on the defensive side. So the one flaw in Devin's game plan against Ryan was he kept getting caught with that left hook. And you got to be damn sure now every fighter moving forward who's fighting Devin Haney is going for that same shot. So you know Jose Ramirez is game planning for that same shot. Get Devin to drop his right side and throw the left hook. So Nate Jones has been brought into this camp and working with Dev for a while now. If you follow his Instagram, he's also been working with Devin, sitting a little bit down more on his punches. That's something we really haven't seen Haney strive in his career thus far. He kind of just slaps his right hand. If you watch his drilling, his training, and what he's been working on in the lab, it's been sitting, turning, and pivoting more on those hips when he's throwing his right hand. Jose Ramirez is a guy who is a blue-collar guy. Coach Robert Garcia product. He's been there. He's been a world champion with Coach Garcia, and this is another opportunity to prove himself in a new division. He wants to become a world champion again. If you look at his career, though, going back to Maurice Hooker, he got Hooker out of there in the 6th round via knockout, but that was the fight on his career that he started taking a lot of shots and a lot of damage. I referred to a friend when I was doing my film study on this. One of my guys is closely related to Robert Garcia. He's always in their camps. He's a former fighter. He's seen Ramirez his entire career. So when I asked him about this fight, this is what he had to say about Ramirez.
With you, bro, I got Haney winning. I think it's more than just Ramirez being flat of weight. I think if you look carefully at Ramirez, his timing's gone. I think he's been in one too many battles, man. I've watched him over the years, and he's a warrior. He's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. But I think he's been getting hit more and more in every fight. If you've been watching back even with Maurice, that's when he started to get hit more. He won the fight, but he's starting to get hit a little more and more. And I just think if he doesn't knock out Haney, I think he's going to get outboxed. But again, Haney doesn't have the greatest chin, and you know as well as I do, the last thing to go is power. And Ramirez can punch a little bit. Ramirez has that attrition power. He kind of just beats on you until you just fall down. He's not a big one knockout punch artist, but I'm leaning towards Haney in that fight. I want Ramirez to win, obviously, but I think I'm leaning towards Haney probably just outboxing him. I just think that Ramirez his time is over. I think his timing is not there, and his coordination, his reflexes aren't there anymore.
And these are interesting points to hear from a former fighter and a current coach about pro boxers. And it's something that boxing analysts could read, study, and do as much film as they want. But it's hard to have the eye regarding what you see in a fighter when you start seeing them wilt or weather throughout a fight career. And my guy thinks that Ramirez started showing signs of degradation in that Hooker fight due to taking too many shots as well as losing those quick reflexes. Timing used to be a big element of Ramirez's game, and if he doesn't find a way to get that back against Devin Haney, he could be in for a long night. Right now I want to take a closer look at what's at stake this coming Saturday night in New York. Guys, Devin Haney and Jose Ramirez both have something to prove when they meet in New York City for a welterweight fight on May 2nd. I already told you guys they signed for 144 pounds, but it's still considered a 147-pound fight. Haney and Ramirez's bout is one of 3 that make up the Fatal Fury in Times Square, which features Ryan Garcia versus Raleigh and Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza Jr. The duo are both former super lightweight champions who will be moving up to 147 for this fight, with Haney ending a year-long hiatus after his controversial bout against Ryan Garcia in April 2024. For Haney, the time and the opponent are right for his return, and I quote, "I took a year off like I said I was going to. I wanted to come back when I felt like it was the right time. But when I came back, I wanted to fight the best fighters in the world. I didn't want to fight any regular guys. I wanted to fight a 2-time world champion, like Jose Ramirez." Meanwhile, Ramirez admitted that he should have moved up to 147 earlier in his career, and he felt that the trouble of trying to make weight at 140 contributed to his losing performance against Arnold Barboza Jr. in November. But while the 32-year-old is eager to step into the ring with Haney, he says he wasn't holding out for a specific opponent to face in his first fight after defeat, and I quote, "I've never been too worried about my opposition in my career. I just focus on myself," he said. "I became the best boxer at lightweight in the Americas, becoming an Olympian, beating guys with different styles." Ramirez also issued a warning to Haney. "I think people underestimate my speed and power, but I'm ready to put it together on May 2nd. You thought I was strong on 140. Just watch me at 147. So these are the storylines. Will Ramirez become the guy he used to be early on in his career? Will Devin Haney be able to put all the ghosts of the Ryan Garcia fight away and start a new chapter in his legacy? Both questions will be answered this weekend. That's why it makes this fight super intriguing, and a lot of boxing fans like myself are really excited to tune in. Right now, I want to take a closer look at Jose Ramirez and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Jose Ramirez is 29-2 with 18 knockouts. He carries into the ring a 62% career knockout to win ratio, and out of 2,684 fighters at 140 pounds, he's ranked number 11. The American is a 32-year-old orthodox fighter standing at 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. He resides from Avenel, California, USA. We last saw him fight Arnold Barboza Jr., 30-0, lost a decision in the 10th. Francis Barthelemy, 30-2, won a decision in the 12th. Comey, 30-4, knocked him out in the 11th. Pedraza, 29-3, UD in the 12th. Josh Taylor was his first loss. Taylor was 17-0. He lost to UD. in the 12th. So Jose Ramirez is battle tested through and through. He is a guy who's going to bring into the ring that specific Mexican style. He's going to come at you. He's going to make you work for it. He's going to want to break you down. He really doesn't have one punch knockout power, but he has power. It's kind of like that wilted power. When you start feeling the rounds against your back, when you start feeling the ropes pressing against you, and you start fading a little bit, that's when Jose Ramirez turns it on, and this is exactly what he's going to want to do against Devin Haney. He's going to want to bring him into these deep waters and make Haney fight him. Right now, let's take a look at his opponent, Devin Haney. Guys, Devin is 31-0 with 15 knockouts. He carries in the ring a 48% career knockout to win ratio. Due to him not being active over the last year, he's not ranked in any of the rankings. His adoring fans know him as the Dream, and the American is a 5'9" orthodox fighter with a 71-inch reach. We last saw him fight Ryan Garcia 24-1. That was a no contest, no decision. Regis Prograde 29-1, won a UD in the 12th. Lomachenko 17-2, UD in the 12th. George the second time 20-1, UD in the 12th. Kambosos the first time, UD in the 12th. And this is what Devin Haney does. He wins decisions, he wins points, and he wins rounds. It all starts with that jab. We know that famous boxing saying from that one famous coach, your right hand will take you around the block, but your jab will take you around the world. And this is exactly what has happened for Devin. For him to get back on track, though, he's going to have to overcome that storm of Ramirez. He's going to have to keep his chin down, keep that right hand up. Everybody in the ring, in the arena, watching is going to know what Ramirez is going to want to do to Devin Haney. As soon as that bell rings, Devin knows it, and will he be able to stop it? And the best thing to do to keep an aggressive guy off you is what? Establish the jab. So we'll see how that goes for both guys. When I look at these guys side by side, Haney's the younger guy. He has more ring experience. Both guys are former world champions. The height is going to be on Ramirez's side. He's going to have an inch reach advantage as well. Stylistically, you're going to have offense versus defense. Ramirez really feels at this stage of his career, this is a perfect opportunity to remind people why he was a world champion. And if you ask Devin the same thing, he would probably reiterate that to you as well. Ramirez's style in Devin's mind is sort of made perfectly for Devin to look great. Right now, I want to take a closer look at those Las Vegas odds and see where the bettors are putting their money. Guys, I'm down here in Australia. My sports book is an app called Sportsbet. So wherever you are in the world tuning into this, let's pull our betting apps out and let's take a look at those money lines. Remember, I'm saving my prop bets and my method of victory bets to the end of the week for our live stream with pro boxing bettor Muscle Brown. So tune in then Friday morning at 11 a.m. in Australia, which is Thursday evening in America. All right, guys, the current money line sits as Devin Haney is the big favorite. He's at $1.11, meaning you put 100 on Haney to win. You get your money back plus $11. The draw's 19-1. Jose Ramirez is a $7.75, meaning you put 100 on him, you get your money back plus $675. So what the odds makers are saying, that people are betting, they're taking Devin Haney to get back on track. They think Devin Haney's skill set is going to be too much. They think he's going to be able to outbox Ramirez, and a lot of people feel that Ramirez has seen his better days. They think all the wars that he's been in, his style, him being 32, he's just not at a stage where he can become a world champion. When I think about my prediction, where I'm going to go with my money, I'm going to take Devin Haney. I think his youth, his jab, and his overall skill set is going to be too much for Ramirez. I think it's going to be competitive early, and a lot of people are predicting this fight to go the distance. All I'm going to say is I think Haney wins more rounds than Ramirez wins, and at the end of the day, we're going to hear Devin Haney to remain undefeated. In the comment section below, you don't have to agree with me. How do you guys see this fight playing out? Is anybody taking the underdog? At the end of the day, are we going to hear the judges say Devin Haney the victor or Jose Ramirez the victor? What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's title fight at 140 pounds between the champion, Teofimo Lopez, and the challenger, Arnold Barboza Jr. Before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If If you haven't already, could you please hit subscribe? My YouTube analytics are telling me that almost 75% of you guys who watch my content haven't done this yet. Also, please like this video, and at the bottom of the screen, hit the bell notification button so you can be notified every time I put something out that's new. Let's get into it. When this fight was signed to be part of this Ryan Garcia, Romero card, I was super excited. This matchup is highly intriguing. Those that maybe are just more casual boxing fans might look at this, and you could read some of the comments of some of the people breaking in this fight down and thinking that just on paper, Teofimo Lopez is the more popular guy, the more experienced in terms of a high-level championship rounds guy, that he's just gonna dog walk Arnold Barboza Jr. He's the Las Vegas favorite. So in this video, we're gonna beg the question, we're gonna break down these fighters side by side, we're gonna talk a little bit about what they've been up to, how they go about their business, and stay tuned to the end of the video. We'll go over those odds, and I'll be giving you my prediction. Boxing fans know about Teofimo Lopez, the takeover. They know about the physical attributes that he brings into the ring, his athleticism, his enigmatic personality, the Teofimo show. A Teofimo fight week is exciting. It's filled with ups and downs, a lot of things that are unpredictable, that the media won't know what he's gonna say, his fans don't know what he's gonna say, and it's similar to his fight style when he gets into the ring. His fight fans, the pundits, you really don't know what version of Teofimo Lopez you're going to get. I feel that's a great way to sum up his career thus far. He's still only 27 years old. He's a young guy just entering his physical prime. He is a world champion. When we think about Teo, we think about his performances against Vasily Lomachenko almost 5 years ago. But then you gotta then start again with what he looked like against George Kambosos Jr. But then again, what he looked like against Josh Taylor. This up and down sort of trajectory. His most recent version of himself, I gotta admit, I'm not really loving what I'm seeing. We last saw him against Steve Claggett in Florida. We know Claggett's a Canadian who on his record has a loss to Matthew Germain. Germain's the French-Canadian who just went into the UK and lost the decision to Dalton Smith. I don't really like playing boxing maths. I'm just highlighting the point. Teofimo won a decision with Claggett, but it wasn't a perfect victory. He didn't win every round. Claggett won rounds, and I thought it was closer than the judges saw it. And then the fight before, he fought a very skilled Jermaine Ortiz. And once again, we really didn't see a highly motivated Teofimo Lopez. We didn't see the guy who fought Josh Taylor. Granted, Jermaine Ortiz, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated fighters at 140. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch. He's very technical, very wise guy in there, and he's very crafty, and he has a high fight IQ. And it was a tough fight for Lopez. Granted, Lopez got the victory, but he didn't look his best. So going into this Barboza Jr. fight, he's gonna have his hands full. We last saw ABJ go into the UK as a big underdog, similar to what he is now, and beat Jack Catterall. We covered that fight, we previewed that fight. You guys called me crazy in my prediction when I took Barboza Jr. to beat Catterall, and then afterwards, we know how that fight went. When Arnold Barboza Jr., this is a guy who brings into the ring a chip on his shoulder every time he fights. He feels he's been overlooked his whole career. He feels that the time hasn't happened yet for him, but only the good news is that the time is now right out of his mouth. What better time than right now to become a world champion? He's never been defeated, and he's a slick boxer. This guy goes in the ring with kind of one of these boxers, nothing jumps off the page in terms of his physical attributes. He's not gonna be the biggest dude, he's not gonna be the fastest dude, he's not gonna be the strongest guy. He doesn't have one punch knockout power, but what he does really well are all the little things. His pressure, his endurance, his jab. He knows how to cut off the ring. He also has a fighting mindset that is unbreakable. It's one of my favorite things about Arnold Barboza Jr. is the psychology he brings into a fight camp and a fight. You will not break this guy, and I think that's what makes him an undefeated fighter thus far and what makes him so hard to beat. Before we continue, we have to remember the champions at 140. Teo has the ring belt. You have Alberto Puello. You have the newly minted Gary Antoine Russell and the young Richardson Hitchens. So the winner of this fight will stake claim. Teo already knows that in his head he's the top dog, but if ABJ could go in there and upset Teo, he puts his foot right in the middle of his reign at 140 pounds. Now, right now, I want to take a closer look at what's at stake this weekend in New York City. Guys, Arnold Barboza Jr. doesn't respect how Teofimo Lopez promotes his fights, nor the way his rival behaves away from boxing. The WBO interim junior welterweight champion admits that Lopez has ascended to his prominent position in the 140-pound division for a reason. Barboza doesn't see pound-for-pound prowess in Lopez, however, and can't envision their 12-round match May 2nd becoming as difficult an assignment as oddmakers and most experts think. He feels that these people don't know boxing. 2 months removed from another impressive performance on the road, an increasingly confident Barboza believes he will upset Lopez as part of the ring's Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves pay-per-view event in Times Square. Lopez, who's 21-1 with 13 knockouts, is listed as approximately a 2-1 favorite by DraftKings to beat Barboza, who's 32-0 with 11 knockouts. But Barboza is certain he will leave the ring with his unblemished record intact, and I quote, "I think he's an athlete," Barboza told the Ring. "I think he's athletic, but I'm also athletic. It's going to be a great fight. I think he's athletic. I think he has some good traits, but so do I. You know, as a fighter, you got to give props when props are due, right? I don't think he's anything special. I've always said it. You know, I think people think he's going to beat me, but I'm going to come out with the upset. I think I'm going to make it one-sided, and people are going to be surprised." Lopez is 5-0 since Australia's George Kambosos Jr., then 19-0, upset him by split decision in their 12-round lightweight title fight in November 2021, Parks Theater at Madison Square Garden. 2 of Lopez's victories during the winning streak were debatable, though. Spanish southpaw Sandor Martin, then 40-2, dropped Lopez once and probably should have been credited with his second knockdown in December 2022 at Madison Square Garden. Lopez still edged Martin by split decision in their 10-rounder. Lopez's second appearance as a full-fledged junior welterweight. The Brooklyn-born Lopez soundly defeated former undisputed 140-pound champ Josh Taylor, then 19-0, in his following fight to win the ring and WBO 140-pound championships. Another significant underdog, Jermaine Ortiz, tested Lopez in his first defense of those titles, but Ortiz, then 17-1-1, lost a 12-round unanimous decision in February 2024 in Vegas. Barboza's back-to-back victories over former WBC, WBO 140-pound champ Jose Ramirez and top contender Jack Catterall have elevated his status in the division during the past 5 months. The El Monte, California native definitely outboxed Ramirez, whom Barboza beat by unanimous decision in a 10-round bout November 16th at NAB Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Traveling to England to face Catterall resulted in a 12-round split decision win against the British southpaw February 15th at the Co-op Live Arena in Manchester, which earned Barboza his temporary WBO belt and led to an opportunity to finally oppose Lopez, a former unified lightweight champion. Teofimo Lopez, like we already talked about, is a guy that really is unpredictable both in and out of the ring. We've watched him at times box beautifully, and we've watched him at times make some questionable decisions. He uses a lot of feints with his body, with his feet, and sometimes he forgets to throw punches and enters the pocket a bit recklessly, and he always looks to use his athleticism to make up for his shortcomings in terms of his boxing technique. Now with his opponent Barboza, this is quite the opposite. Barboza is a technical guy who's going to keep a high guard, who's going to use his jab to enter the pocket, and he's going to look for those mistakes that Teofimo Lopez often presents to his opponent, but often gets away with due to his athleticism. Right now, I want to take a closer look at the challenger, Arnold Barboza Jr., and see what he's been up to. Guys, Arnold Barboza Jr. is 32-0 with 11 knockouts. He carries into the ring a 34% career knockout to win ratio, and out of 2,684 super lightweights, he's ranked number 4 in the world. He is the WBO interim super lightweight world champion. The 33-year-old American is an orthodox fighter standing at 5'9" with a 72-inch reach. He hails from Los Angeles, California. We last saw him fight Jack Catterall, 30-1, won a split decision in the 12th. Jose Ramirez, 29-1, UD in the 10th. Sean McComb, 18-1, split decision in the 10th. Najeni, 31-3, stoppage in the 8th. Pedraza, 29-4, UD in the 10th. With Barboza Jr., he doesn't have one-punch knockout power, but he has enough power to get his opponent respect. And this is where his boxing comes into play. He sets his backhand up with his jab. He moves his head nicely off the center line, and he's always working angles. His pressure is fun to watch, and fans of the sport of boxing will definitely enjoy watching Arnold Barboza Jr. if you've never seen him fight before. This is a guy who's going to go in there with a game plan. He's going to execute the game plan, and no matter how far or how down he feels he is on the cards, you never see him give up on himself. You never see him frustrated in the corner, and I think going into this fight, that's going to be a huge feather in his cap that he's going to take into the ring in his quest to defeat Teofimo Lopez. Now let's look at the champion. Guys, Teo is 21-1 with 13 knockouts. He carries into the ring a 62% career knockout to win ratio, and out of 2,684 super lightweights, he's ranked number 1 in the world. His adoring fans know him as the Takeover, and the 27-year-old American is a 5'9" orthodox fighter with a 68-inch reach. We last saw him fight Steve Claggett, 38-7, UD in the 12th. Jermaine Ortiz, 17-1, UD in the 12th. Josh Taylor, 19-0, UD in the 12th. Sandor Martin, 40-2, split decision in the 10th. Pedro Campo, 34-1, stoppage in the 7th. That Pedro Campo fight in 2022 was his last stoppage victory. Teo's athletic, he's explosive, he has power. He could get away with a lot of things in the ring that a lot of fighters can't, and this is why he has a huge fan base. He's electric. He's great on the microphone. Know his persona. He's one of these guys that is perfect for boxing. Every generation you have guys like Teofimo Lopez. The issue with him when you're thinking about where to bet your money at, and this is where when I look at these guys side by side, it's something that doesn't jump off the paper. Teo's gonna be the more athletic. He's gonna have the physical advantages. He's gonna be quicker, he's gonna be stronger, he's gonna have more power. What Barboza Jr. will have, he's gonna have the height advantage and the reach advantage. I give the boxing technical prowess to Arnold Barboza Jr. I also give the fight IQ to Arnold Barboza Jr. I've watched both of their careers. I've seen Teo in the corner arguing with his dad, arguing with his coaches. I've never seen that in Barboza Jr. Teo does have his true blue fan base who are going to cheer for him no matter what, and so does ABJ. But we know on this channel, we're trying to predict winners based on what we see in their careers and not by the boxing fandom. Right now, let's take a closer look at Las Vegas and see where the bettors are putting their money. Guys, remember, I'm down here in Australia. My book is called Sports Bet. What we're doing from here on out is we're going to cover the money line odds. Stay tuned to the channel. At the end of the week, we'll be doing our weekly live stream with pro boxing bettor Muscle Brown. That's where I'll be going over my prop bets. Right now, the money line odds for the fight, Teofimo Lopez is $1.44, meaning you put $100 on him and he wins, you get your money back plus 44 bucks. The draw 17-1. ABJ sitting at $3.05. Put 100 on him, you get your money back plus 205. So right now the bettors are putting all their money on Teofimo Lopez to beat Arnold Barboza Jr. He is sort of the sexy pick regarding his name, his brand, what he does in the ring, what you've seen him when he looks at his best, and what his resume states. He has a victory over Vasily Lomachenko. He has a victory over Josh Taylor. These are undisputed world champions. Arnold Barboza Jr. can't claim that. I'm putting my money at when it comes to my prediction. This may shock a lot of you guys. This shocked you guys when I picked him to beat Jack Catterall, but I'm picking Arnold Barboza Jr. to upset Teofimo Lopez. I don't think the odds should be as far. I think this is more of a 50-50 fight from a boxing perspective and the technical side of things, and as a boxer in the ring in terms of making adjustments, using their jab, setting traps, winning rounds and scoring points. I give all of that to Arnold Barboza Jr. I think he's going to do and execute all of those things. If you're putting your money on the guy who's more physical, more athletic, more flashy, and does the more eye-opening combinations, take Teofimo Lopez. But this is a 12-round fight. The belts are on the line. Psychology plays a big part of boxing. I don't talk about it ever, and a lot of you guys don't know. My undergrad, my bachelor's degree is in sports psychology. So when I break these fighters down, and when it comes to my prediction, a lot of times if it's close, especially two guys like Teofimo and ABJ, I have to lean in on the mindset sort of things. And I don't like what I've seen over his career with Teofimo Lopez, how he gets frustrated. There is no room for error in this fight at the highest level, and I think that's also going to be a huge advantage for Arnold Barboza Jr. I'm taking him to leave with the belt. In the comment section below, this is not an echo chamber. How do you see this playing out? Is it business as usual for the takeover, or will Arnold Barboza Jr. leave with the belts? Let me know. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's fight at 147 pounds between Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe? My YouTube analytics are telling me that almost 75% of you guys who watch my content haven't done that yet for me, so please do that now. Also, like this video and go down to the bottom of your screen right now and hit the bell notification button so you can be notified every time I put something out that's new. Thank you. All right, guys, this is the main event for a very busy weekend in the world of boxing. This fight takes place in New York City between Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero. We know with both guys you get two really huge personalities. So in this video, we're going to break down both fighters' careers. We're going to talk about what they most recently have been up to, who they've been fighting, how they go about their business. And stay tuned to the end of the video because I'll be giving you my prediction. We're going to go over those Las Vegas odds and I'll be telling you where to put your money. Let's get into it. All right, guys, the 29-year-old Rolly Romero, the Las Vegas product, the Floyd Mayweather product, has been on a bit of a roller coaster ride as of late in his career. The once undefeated knockout artist has 2 losses, both being knocked out, most recently against Pitbull, and then we know his first career loss was to Tank Davis. He's a former world champion. He was an interim champ, and then he had the full belt in his first title defense. This is where he lost it to Pitbull. Rolly Romero is a confident guy. He's a fighter who is not going to be the most technical fighter, but in my opinion, he's one of my most favorite fighters to watch. When I tell people that, they get a bit confused. I love an underdog guy in all sports as well. I like fighters, teams, any sort of athlete that on paper isn't going to be the most skilled or the most talented, but they're going to be there to compete. And in my opinion, this is Rolly Romero. He has power in his hands. He doesn't do everything, maybe anything exceptionally well. He'd probably be a coach's nightmare, to be honest with you. Boxing is such a sport, they call it the sweet science for a reason, where you get old school coaches who are very tactical, very technique driven, everything from the footwork to where your hand placement is to how you throw your punches. Rolly doesn't do any of that. He goes about his fights in his own way. He walks his opponent down, he tries to throw his power shots, he gets out of position a lot, and he throws everything into every punch. And a lot of times in his career, those punches have landed. It led him to become a world champion. So on paper, when you look at a kid who's not the biggest, not the tallest, not the fastest, doesn't have the sharpest punches, doesn't have the best footwork, and he still became a world champion, I cheer for people like that. I think he's an overachiever. We last saw him fight Manuel Jaime. This fight wasn't really that competitive. On the judges' scorecards, he won almost every round to get him back in the winning circle, which propelled him to this fight. We know he has history with Ryan Garcia. There's been sparring footage from years ago. However you want to take that, I'm not a big fan of looking at fighters who were sparring and then making a prediction based on the outcome of sparring. It's sparring. It's not a fight. With his opponent, Ryan Garcia, we could talk until we're tired ad nauseum about what we saw in his last fight. If you watch a film study, I just rewatched the Devin Haney fight. It was a tale of two Ryan Garcias in terms of how he goes about his business in his fight. He relies a lot on the left hook, but in between big moments and big shots, he does go through these lulls. He doesn't throw many punches, and Devin Haney was winning rounds until he wasn't winning rounds. That left hook was on point, and no matter what he looked like in that fight build-up, what I saw in the ring against Haney was a different guy. He was focused, he was sharp, and if that same guy comes in the ring in New York against Rolly, Rolly is going to have his hands full. So right now what I want to do is take a closer look at what's at stake this Saturday in New York City. As Ryan Garcia makes his long-awaited return to the ring against Rolly Romero atop a fight card that also features his longtime rival Devin Haney in a historic New York bill, live and exclusive on DAZN. The star will fight for the first time since a victory over his former foe was ruled a no contest after he failed a drug test, having also failed to make weight for the bout before. Garcia has been open about his demons and struggles since then, and there will be many that hope one of the Americans' boxing's biggest names can put his troubles behind him. But Romero will be determined to make the most of his chance in the spotlight, while Haney will have to contend with the challenge of Jose Ramirez underneath him. Previously considered one of the biggest rising stars in American boxing, Ryan Garcia seemed poised to take the sport by storm before his clash with Devin Haney last year. But having missed weight before the bout, his subsequent victory ruled a no contest due to a failed drug test, missing out on the WBC super lightweight title as a result. He has not fought since, instead embroiled in controversies outside of the ring, but now he will return with a firm intention to stake his place as part of sport's upper tier again. Romero will be determined to stop him, however, with the former WBA super lightweight title holder having built a sturdy reputation of his own since turning pro. He suffered a second career loss against Pitbull Cruz last March, losing his crown in his first defense, but has since rebounded to defeat Manuel Jaime in September. Romero will know he enters this contest as the outsider, with many fans having hoped for a Haney rematch instead. But here, he will be out to prove his mettle as well. Garcia is certainly not underestimating the threat that Romero offers against him, and addressed concerns that this time away from the ring could hinder his sharpness, and I quote, "I've got to take him as serious as I'm fighting Devin, so we're going to be prepared," he said. I'm explosive and I'm hungry. I feel the adrenaline right now. Romero, meanwhile, weighed in on his prospects, having sparred with his opponent previously and reportedly got the better of him on a pair of occasions. And I quote, "He got his ass beat," he added. "Twice? 3 times the charm, right?" It marks the former's first bout since his no-contest performance last April against Devin Haney, and the latter's first fight since September points win over Manuel Jaime. Guys, going into this fight, if you're Rolly Romero, you have to make Ryan Garcia fight you on his back foot. We know Ryan is at his best when he's moving forward. He likes to hide that left hook with just that long jab. He's very twitchy with the left hook. He's explosive. Garcia's strengths are his speed and his power. Something that doesn't get spoken about enough about Garcia, though, is the added element that Derek James has added to his fight game, meaning his footwork. I used to be a guy to say Garcia's footwork was trash. Watching the Devin Haney fight, watching him against Oscar Duarte, seeing him using his circle left, circle right movement patterns and forcing his opponent to chase him around the ring, that was kind of the downfall of Duarte. And Duarte's a tough guy. He just couldn't cut the ring off. Having that element now into his arsenal is going to be an added bonus for Ryan Garcia. I love the work that he's done with Derek James. Now, he does overswing a bit on his left hook, and he is overly aggressive early on. Remember, he got dropped early in the second round against Luke Campbell. He got dropped in the second round against Gervonta Davis, both because he was overly aggressive and he got caught. This will play into the hands of Rolly Romero if he can make Garcia pay. There's nothing on paper, like I already said, that Rolly does better than Ryan in terms of the skills. Not the feet, not the speed, maybe the power, but I don't know. Ryan's taller, Ryan's bigger. Remember, guys, this fight's at 147, so we are going to see if both guys could bring that power up to a new weight class. Right now, I want to take a closer look at Rolly Romero and see what he's been up to. Guys, Rolly's 16-2 with 13 knockouts out of 2,688 super lightweights in the world. He's ranked number 42. Remember, guys, this is at welterweight. He has a career 81% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as Rolly. The 29-year-old American's an orthodox fighter, standing at 5'8" with a 68-inch reach. We last saw him fight Manuel Jaime, 16-1, UD in the 10th. Isaac Cruz, 25-2. He got stopped in the 8th. Barroso, 24-3. Stopped him in the 9th, controversially, but he still won. Tank Davis, 26-0. He got stopped in the 6th. Anthony Idjit, 24-1. Stopped him in the 7th. Avery Sparrow, 10-2, stopped him in the 7th. Rolly Romero is at his best when he's bullying you forward, where he's bullying you in the ring, and he's throwing his big shots. He's going to be there to get hit. His style was fun. If you have a fan-friendly style, you're going to grow a fan base, and you're going to be having opportunities for big fights, and this is exactly why Rolly is here. He's an example that it's not always the skills that get you to the next level. It's the mindset and your willingness to trade. His skills are good enough to get to this level, obviously, but it's that mindset he brings into a fight. He wants to get you into a dogfight, and he wants to fight power with power, and that's why he's one of my favorite fighters to watch. What he's going to have to do, though, is get Ryan Garcia's respect early. Like I said, I feel he's going to be at his best if he can make Ryan fight off of Ryan's back foot and not give him any space to land that left hook. Right now, I want to take a closer look at Garcia and see what he's been up to. Guys, Garcia's 24-1 with 20 knockouts. He carries into the ring an 83% career knockout to win ratio. Because he's been inactive due to his suspension, he's not ranked in any of the sanctioning bodies. His adoring fans know him as King Ryan. The American's a 5'8" orthodox fighter with a 70-inch reach. We last saw him fight against Devin Haney. We know it was a no contest, no decision. Duarte, 26-1, stopped him in the 8th. Tank Davis, 28-0, he got stopped in the 7th. Fortuna, 37-3, stopped him in the 6th. Tago, 32-1. He won a UD decision in the 12th. Garcia has all the intangibles on his side. He's twitchy, he's fast, he's powerful, he's going to be the bigger guy, he's going to have the longer reach. It's going to come down to his mental. I'm going to see, you're going to see, we're all going to find out real quick if he did indeed take Rolly Romero as serious as he took Devin Haney. Because if we see the same guy we saw against Haney, like I said, I'm expecting big things from Ryan Garcia. When I look at these guys side by side, on paper, I don't know what's up with BoxRec, but they have Rolly Romero listed at 5'8". Just watch the stare downs and the fight week promos. Rolly and Ryan are not the same height. Garcia's listed at 5'8.5", but he's looking to have almost a 2-inch height advantage. He has a reach advantage. On paper, the knockout percentages are similar, but when you see how Ryan knocks people out with that left hook versus how Rolly knocks them out with a barreling right hand, I'd still give the power advantage to Ryan. I do like Ryan's straight right hand. It doesn't get spoken about enough. He threw it a lot against Devin Haney. What I don't want to see from Ryan Garcia is that BS Philly shell. I don't care how many people try to sell me on it. Somewhere, Sweet Pea Whitaker is rolling over in his grave when he's watching Garcia do that. And some of the best body work that Devin Haney got off was when Garcia was backing up mid-fight, trying to Philly shell, and Haney just kept landing the body shots. And it was weird that Harvey Dock, the referee, was separating Haney off of Garcia when Garcia was the one rolling, giving his body to Devin, and Devin was taking advantage of it. I don't want to see that against Romero. I know Derek James doesn't want to see that. He said it at the last fight, but Garcia does what he wants to do in the ring, and as long as you keep on winning, you can get away with these sort of things. Right now, I want to take a closer look to see where you guys and Las Vegas is putting their money. Let's look at those Las Vegas odds. Wherever you are in the world, also let's pull out our betting apps down here in Australia. My book is called Sportsbet. Guys, remember, I'm only going to be going over the money line bets. Stay tuned to the channel. Friday morning, Sydney, Thursday evening in America, we'll be doing our YouTube live stream with pro boxing bettor Muscle Brown, to where we'll be covering the card in Saudi, we'll be covering the card in New York, and we'll be covering the card in Las Vegas, giving you our lock picks, our money prop bets, and the method of victories. But right Guys, currently they have Rolly Romero as a big underdog. Garcia's $1.11. You put $100 on King Rye, you get your money back plus $11. The draw is 19-1. Rolly is $7.75, meaning 100 on him gets you your money back plus $6.75. Now, I got to be honest with you guys. I'm going for Rolly Romero. I want Rolly Romero to win. I want him to get his career back on track. A victory over Ryan Garcia will put him right there once again. Like I told you before, he's not the most technical, but personally, my personality, how I go about things, I like watching Romero. I like hearing him talk. Everything about the underdog, whenever people start hating on him for his shortcomings, I like cheering for that sort of guy. So I hope he goes in there, fights his heart out, and gets the victory. Where I'm putting my money, I'm going to listen to my father's advice. He always said, Johnny, bet with your wallet, not with your heart. I'm predicting Ryan Garcia to win, so my money's on Ryan Garcia. But a lot of you might not know how to take this, but I'm going for Rolly. And this is how I like running my channel. This is ethically how I make my picks. Even though I'm a fan of Rolly, I just don't see him pulling this out. Will I want to see him win? Yes. But like I said, at the end of the day, I think Garcia is going to be too much. I think his size, his range, his distance, his left hook is going to be too much. You don't have to agree with me in the comment section below. How do you guys see this playing out?